So our first task on the code breaking, we're going to look at a message coded in the Caesar cipher. This part of the message is for the frequency table here. So we've got a countif formula that's looking at everything in this area, and it's counting if the letter to the left is there. So this tells us the frequency of each letter within the message. The reason why that is important is because if we go to the frequency analysis graph, so this is the frequency of letters used in English. So if you had hundreds, maybe even thousands of pieces of writing and you counted all the letters, this is what you would get. I've highlighted E and T because this is a short message. Those are the only two letters that we can rely on within the message. So looking back here, E is the most common letter, so we need to look at our frequency table for the coded message, and we see here C is the most frequent. So I'm going to put E in there. We're going to make that assumption that the most frequent is E, and then we're going to go through the message and fill in E underneath all of those C's. Easier really to use the keyboard rather than the mouse. So we'll go through that. I may have missed one or two, but the idea is go through, fill all those in. So put E in this one here, pause the video, and then put E into everything on your message, then come back. So the next thing then is we want to look for our next most frequent letter, so that would be T. So here R is the next most frequent. It's very, very closely followed there by Q. So on some messages it could be either of them. We're going to go for T being here. So every time we see R, that's where we want to put the letter T. We filled those in. Now again, because it's a short message, we can't now start relying on the next most frequent letters. So what we need to do now is use our knowledge of English to try to work out some more of the words. If you haven't done it already, pause the video, put all the T's into your message, then come back. So now we start looking at the message itself. Well, a very common word in English is the word the. Now this is coming up twice, this word beginning with T and E, so there's a pretty good chance that that is going to be the word the. So let's put H into our frequency table, and then we can go through and start filling in all of those. So we're looking every time then for F, we're filling those in. Now we're starting to get some evidence that we're right here, because we've got a double E there, and E is a letter that occurs as a double quite often. We've got the word the, we've got another word TH, so that's suggesting that we're right there, and then we've got our different words here. So what I would do next is a good assumption that that word is here. So let's go over to P and put that in, and then go through and fill in the rest of that on your message. So pause the video and come back once you've done that. Okay, so at this point now we've got 4 letters in our frequency table, and now we're going to look at why it's important that we were filling that in. Breaking these type of codes is all about looking for patterns. So let's look at the patterns now in the frequency table. If we go through our alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So that's lining up. So again on the alphabet, R, S, T. Let's have a look from these. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. 3 times those letters are lining up. So there's a pretty good chance that we've broken that code. So when we get to Z, we go back to the beginning again. A, B. See, and it's matching up there as well. So at this point, we've broken the code. All we need to do now is go through and decode it. So if I look up G, that's going to be I. Just continue until you've deciphered the message.